I'm here at the Espressif stand at Embedded World 2023, and I've been talking to Amey Inamdar to find out what's new in the area of ESP32s. He's just told me that we've got some exciting new dual-core RISC-V products coming to market soon, and explained how Matter is making IoT more consumable to the consumer. So hi Amey, it's great to see you here at the Espressif stand at Embedded World 2023. This whole place is just packed with technology, and it's no different here.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to ask you is, what we're seeing is artificial intelligence and IoT coming very, very close together because they're really needed in those applications. How is Espressif tackling this by getting AI and IoT into one solution?
Sure. So if you look at the history of Espressif, we began primarily with the connectivity, right? But soon it was evident that with the advancement of AI, not all the processing can happen in the cloud. You still need to have the able edge processors which can actually do some of the offloading of the AI that is happening in the cloud. And that's why we have our product line, which is specifically targeting AI on the edge type of applications with tiny MCUs. And these are really low-cost microcontrollers, but they are still very capable to do a lot of the AI type of workload, which includes image processing, voice processing, speech processing, running sensor fusion type of algorithms to provide a meaningful output directly to the users, or make it in a way such that the cloud can be offloaded from some of the work that needs to be done for the AI. So yes, we do have some of the chipsets like ESP32S3 or upcoming ESP32P4, which have integrated AI engine. They are essentially instruction extensions that we offer for digital signal processing as well as neural network computation type of workloads.
Now, of course, the hardware is only one part of the system. There's the software to be developed as well. Where does Espressif stand in terms of software development or platforms for creating the software?
That's a very good question. So, in terms of the software for the AI, we take a multi-layer approach. So, as we have these AI acceleration engines present in our chips, we make it available to the higher levels of the software through a SDK called ESP-NN. NN stands for neural network. And then we have created a bunch of additional SDKs on top of that. So for example, ESP-DL is our SDK that we offer, to which provides the maximum amount of optimization to run a particular neural network model on the ESP32S3 hardware. So ESP-DL on one side can offer the maximum kind of optimization or the highest performance for that type of workload. On the other hand, we also support the standard AI frameworks such as TensorFlow Lite Micro. So we have the TensorFlow Lite Micro also supporting ESP-NN layer, which can use the existing TensorFlow Lite Micro models with ESP32S3 hardware more effectively. So we provide best of both worlds, something which is very easily available right now in terms of model creation and usage, and on the other side, the maximum performance-oriented SDK of our own. And we also plan to provide the model transformations to transform the standard models into the ESP-DL models soon.
Now, many people have started with the ESP32 family as the modules are very well established on the market, but the chips themselves, the system on chips SoCs, they're available standalone as well. So what's coming, what's new in the SoC domain?
Sure. So we have many new SoCs coming out. So our two chips that are ESP32C6 and ESP32H2, they are into mass production now. ESP32C6 is 802.11ax Wi-Fi 6 chip, and we have a very interesting demo of how Wi-Fi 6 can really fuel the different type of Wi-Fi devices which can be battery operated and still connected to the Wi-Fi network at the same time. So that is on one side. On the other side, we also have ESP32H2, which is our 802.15.4 plus BLE radio, specifically targeting Matter over Thread type of devices. Then we also have ESP32C5 and ESP32P4 that are coming out soon. ESP32P5 is our dual band SoC, targeting 802.11ax, that is Wi-Fi 6 plus BLE, and thread and ZigBee over 802.15.4 radios. So that is from the connectivity perspective. We also announced ESP32P4 recently, and it is our MCU only offering without any connectivity. And ESP32P4 is basically targeting high-end applications such as HMI, touchscreen, camera, display type of applications, as well as the applications which require a large number of GPIOs and memory.
Now, RISC-V is a very interesting processor technology. When whoever you talk to, RISC-V always keeps coming up, and you've got a very good range of RISC-V based SoCs on the market. Are you seeing lots of interest for RISC-V?
Yes, actually from the end customer perspective, the processor technology does not matter that much. Yes, it does matter quite a bit for the semiconductor company as such to base our solutions, but I think what has happened recently is that RISC-V has come to a level in terms of tooling that it is at par with any other architecture. So from our perspective, we can provide the same user experience or same developer experience for our developers to develop the software on our older Extensa architecture SoCs as well as our newer RISC-V architecture SoCs. So yes, we are seeing a lot of improvements happening on the RISC-V side. By the way, ESP32P4 is going to be our first dual-core RISC-V SoC targeting the high-performance computing.
Now, you've already mentioned some of the wireless technologies that are embedded into the ESP family, and one of the challenges people face is obviously trying to make all those different protocols work with one another. So Matter is obviously the technology here at the show which is being talked about all the time. What problem is Matter solving for consumers?
Yeah, so if you see the history of the consumer devices or smart home devices, they were not designed to talk to each other. That's fundamentally the problem that Matter solves. So with Matter, you have the application level protocol which makes all these devices talk with each other, right? And these devices not only include the smart home devices, but also other devices such as your smartphones or your smart home assistants and so on. So now with the ability for all these devices to talk to each other, it means that there is a reduced work that you have to do to support different ecosystems. Your devices can work seamlessly with Apple ecosystem, Google ecosystem, Amazon ecosystem, Samsung ecosystem, or any other custom ecosystem or your own ecosystem that you are building. So it is reduced efforts from the engineering perspective, better interoperability when it comes to device communication, better user experience because now there is a single unified interface provided for all the users to configure these devices and to make use of these devices. So I think Matter is actually bringing in improvements in all different sections of this domain.
So what's Espressif doing for the engineering user base to get Matter working? Have you got some software development tools?
Yes, so we have an SDK called ESP Matter, which is built on top of the open source connected home IP SDK that is maintained by the community for the implementation of the Matter specification. And ESP Matter basically makes it really simple to develop the Matter compliant accessories with Espressif chipsets. It supports both Matter over Wi-Fi and Matter over Thread as the protocols. And then we also have ESP Launchpad based evaluation versions for the developers or trial users who want to quickly try out a Matter compatible accessory on Espressif development kit. Additionally, we also have ESP Zero Code modules, which are pre-certified firmware based modules that any of our customers can put easily in their devices such as light bulbs or smart switches to get the Matter compatible devices out of the box.
Now, one of the key elements, obviously, of the IoT is then the link at some point back to the cloud and some sort of back-end. How is your RainMaker platform supporting customers to implement that?
Sure. So ESP RainMaker is essentially a private cloud offering from Espressif. The reason I say it is a private cloud offering because it is not a cloud where data goes into a particular company's account, right? So it's essentially a cloud that you can deploy in your own AWS account. So with ESP RainMaker, we have enabling our customers to have their own IoT cloud platform without having significant engineering investments. And this also works very well for the hobbyists or community, because we have an open source version of or openly deployed version of ESP RainMaker that you can use free of cost for your own projects or for your evaluations with ease. And with ESP RainMaker, we also provide ESP Insights, which is a diagnostics cloud, which provides a remote observability for your field deployed devices. If the devices crash in the field, if there are any abnormal reboots, any logs or warnings or errors you want to see, ESP Insight gives you a complete remote diagnostics access to all this information.
Now, of course, some people won't want to use their own cloud environment. They'll want to use something like Amazon Web Services, a commercial offering. But one of the challenges, obviously, to ensure security of the link to the cloud is the provisioning process. Now, I understand you've come out with an IoT Express Link module, which sort of simplifies that process. What is that module, and what's the experience then for the development teams using it?
Mm-hmm. So, AWS IoT Express Link is a specification laid out by the Amazon AWS for a specific module, connectivity module, which has a simple AT interface to the host MCU. And using this module, a lot of complex yet required tasks are offloaded to this model, like how do you provision certificates in the module, or how do you manage the connectivity, or when the disconnections happen, how to perform reconnections, how to provide OTA upgrades for the module as well as to the host. So all of this complexity is completely now offloaded to Express Link module, and now you can interface it with any other microcontroller, including a tiny 8-bit microcontroller, to provide the secure AWS IoT connectivity for that device. So it is very well suited for many of these devices which are running based on tiny microcontrollers right now. If they want to get connected to the AWS IoT, then Express Link provides an out-of-the-box solutions with significantly simplifying the engineering efforts for them. And Espressif has ESP32C3 based ESP AWS IoT Express Link module available already in the market.
Now, when we're developing a new application, it's very tempting to start again from the beginning, but a lot of development teams just don't have the time. There's a lot of similarities. You know, if I want to do a voice recognition system, there's probably a starting point as well. I noticed from Espressif there are some sort of standard pieces of software for helping me doing human-machine interfaces, face detection, voice control. Where do I find those, and how do they, how are they customizable for my purposes?
Yeah, so Espressif has multiple SDKs, ESP-Who, which is for the face detection or object detection that you can use as a starting point. Or we have ESP Skynet, which is essentially our offline voice assistant, which includes the wake word engine, the phrase recognition engine, and the rich set of audio front-end algorithms to reduce the noise or detect the direction of the sound. With these SDKs easily available, you can easily embed voice integration, voice commands, or object detection or image detection type of functionality in your devices with ease using Espressif hardware and software. And these SDKs are already optimized to take advantage of AI acceleration that we provide in our chips, such as the ESP32S3.
Well, Amey, thank you ever so much for taking the time to chat to us here at Embedded World at the Espressif stand this year, and introducing some of the new technologies and new devices which are coming onto the market.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk to you, and thank you. It was really nice to talk to you. Thank you.